It is currently 11 p.m., 17th of Feb, 2026. You might have noticed that Discord has just given the middle finger to all of their customers and required identity verification. I can't get with that, so I'm jumping ship on them. I set up CommonGround, which is, I don't know, seems good. Like I had a look at all the different options, and CommonGround looks like it's going to be the way to go. So I set one up today. But the cool thing that I like about it is, as you can see here, this is CommonGround, and I'm running Combat Status Limbo in the browser as a CommonGround plugin, which means you can just open up Discord and play the game, which is like, that sells me straight away. So I feel like this is going to be the Discord killer purely because of that feature. And other than that, it's quite good. It's got a bunch of different features. You can do like blog posts and stuff. Pretty rad. But what I'm going to talk about in this is how to get your Godot web assembly game up on CommonGround as a plugin. Pretty easy. It was again, I mean, it just seems to become a mantra, but just Godot just works every time, first time. So I was amazed. What you're going to need a domain, because CommonGround plugins are effectively just an iframe. You're going to need to configure your domain to do cross-origin resource sharing and embedding. And I think that's because my game is a multiplayer game using WebSockets. So you might not have to do such a complex setup if you're just doing a simple single-player game. But once you start doing WebSockets, maybe, I don't know, I think I had to set up some extra stuff. So what I have I'm actually running, probably a bad idea for production, but for now it's fine. I'm running my Godot web game serving on the same server as the multiplayer server backend as well. So I set up a website. I registered a domain, pointed it at my Ubuntu box, set it up with Caddy, which was super simple. And if you go to statoslimbo.com. So I'll show you how to do this, but this is it just running in the browser. So I just took the Godot web export, put it on my server, pointed the domain at it, and then up it came. And then I had to do some cross-origin stuff to make it work in the as a plugin. I didn't rehearse this, and this is gonna be a very ad hoc video. So play it at 2 speed or whatever you want to do. Okay, so first thing, just quickly, you should have probably already done this if you've got your game on itch. But you go to project, export, set to web, under resources, export all resources, and under options, click extension support. And that's what you have to do. And then you hit export project, blah, blah, blah. And I'll show you where that's exported to. You will have to download export thingies. There's a button when you first try to export HTML. Go and follow a different one. You get to the point where you can export an HTML page. I'm going to try not to swear, because I've been told that swearing is bad. Yes. So if I go to my builds, which is my exports, HTML, you can see this is just the regular HTML thing. I added it to a zip file. I ended up not doing the zip file. So I have a web server on Vultr. Vultr.com. This is where I host all my websites for AI first. I've actually turned off my AI autocomplete. I've disenfranchised with AI at this point. I was all on, now I'm all off. Turtle Gully is my server. That's my server. So it's hosted in Sydney. It is a one virtual CPU, 1 gig of RAM. It's like the cheapest one. I think it's $5 a month through Vultr, and it gives you just a Ubuntu box running in the cloud. fantastic. I use it for all kinds of stuff. So you should probably set it up and not use root, blah, blah, blah. It's a dev server. Hack it. I don't care. There's nothing on there. So once you have a Ubuntu box running, you have to register a domain. And you should know about DNS and stuff. Point your domain at the IP, A records, and all that good stuff. This is my WinSCP instance pointing at my thingo, and you can see here in /var www CSL for combat status limbo. That's just pasted in the export, the HTML export. Got to rename the HTML file to index.html. That's just for itch. You could point Caddy at whatever file you want, but if you have index.html, then it defaults. It's just the standard practice that it will default to rendering your index.html. I'll jump in. You can see I was doing this earlier today. Okay. So install Caddy first. Look at the Caddy docs, or you can do it with Apache if you really want to. I'm just going to quickly run through with Caddy because I'm really impressed with it. So I've got a Caddy file, and as you can see, I'm redirecting non-www to an HTTPS www. Caddy does all your HTTPS certificates for you. You don't have to do certbot anymore. You just do Caddy. It's great. So you can see combatstatuslimbo.com is serving into that CSL folder, and that will automatically pick up the index.html. Tell it to be a file server, because that way it's not accessing a process that's running on a port. It's just acting as a file server, so it's going to render your index.html. This bit here, so this was required in order to get it working as a plugin in what's the thing called CG CommonGround. Headers, add your HTTP headers. X-frame options, not really sure what that does, but content security policy, this means you're saying it's going to render in a frame from this root domain. Sorry, it's late. It's not that late. I'm just getting old. So this is the app.cg. That's the CommonGround URL. Cross-origin resource policy. So this is your cause, which cause is confusing as hell. I do web stuff, still don't understand calls. Set it to cross-origin, and then this one here as well, cross-origin embedder policy. Because this runs in an embedded iframe, I had to add this, require CORP, which is cross-origin resource something. WASM, I'm not sure. ChatGPT told me to add these bits because it's WebAssembly, right? So I had to tell it it was a WebAssembly or something or other. And then, because I haven't actually changed, I haven't registered a new domain for my backend, my Godot multiplayer WebSockets is still pointing at this old domain. I could update that if I want, but I'm not going to update the server right now. So you can see here, I'm serving combatstatuslimbo.com, and that serves the HTML, which is what we showed you before. And then this here, the reverse proxy is just localhost 9043. So my Godot multiplayer server is running on port 9043. So anything that goes into this server is going to get routed to those two different services. And that's it. That's the whole Caddy. That's it. That's the thingy. Whatchamacallit. I don't want to. Once you've done that, you can also do Caddy validate --config and pass in your Caddy file, and it'll just tell you. It gives you some crap here, but then you've got valid configuration. So that means. And then once you're done with that, sudo systemctl reload Caddy, gets that new config and puts it up ready to go. Excuse me. So once you got that ready, make sure you just refresh your domain. As long as you're serving and it's working on your actual home domain, then you should be okay for your plugin. When you go into CommonGround, so you can see I've got this play combat status limbo button here, and that launches the iframe to that domain. So let's quickly go in. If you got your own CommonGround server, you go into your community settings. Down the bottom here's plugins, and I'll just show you this one. Why not? Combat status limbo is the name of the button, the URL that it's running on, description, sure. whatever this stuff is, I don't know. And then this here, I don't know if I need this or not. I just turned it on and it works, so I'm not going to turn it off because I don't want to risk it. So really, all you have to do is go create plugin, add your plugin, put in your URL that's serving your Godot thing, do all this stuff, and then isolation mode, and hit save. I feel like I don't even have to make a video for this. It was that simple. And then this popped up here once you've added that plugin to your server. And then you hit it. Right? I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Look at all this stuff's just working. And this is multiplayer, so in theory, if I go to here, hit play, in theory, there he is. Look at that. I'm not sure if yeah, you can kill people. Yeah, don't we all love killing people? The mouse capture mode works a little bit weird in CommonGround. You can see, like, if I go out, it stops. Right, you stop moving. Hey, I didn't die. Whatever. So you can hit this full screen mode here, and then you get a better mouse capture. Oh, well, actually, you also have to use input mode mouse captured in your Godot thing. So I'm just going to quickly kill myself. I didn't fix this bug yet, where I can just jump. Whee! Oh, it hasn't captured the keyboard. Whatever. I'm sure there's a bunch of bugs. But it works. It generally works. From here, you can figure out the rest of it yourself, alright? Whee! That's it. That's it. That's the video. Come to my CommonGround server and play my buggy ass game.